Whilst there's been a station at Brighton since 1840, I wanted to climb up above the station to look down on the remarkable station train shed, which itself dates from 1883. And walking back down the road only underlines just how many acres of glass are supported by its iron frame. The original station from 1840, designed by David Mocatta in an Italianate style, is now somewhat lost behind the later porte cochere and the towering train shed behind. Right, let's walk through the old station building for that wow moment as we enter the train shed. And here are the two massive arches renovated around the year 2000 and looking absolutely marvellous. And the blue of the ironwork is complemented by the Brighton and Hove Albion bunting that bedecks this concourse area. To the side there's ticket machines aplenty and some lovely touches, both new and original, all around. And it's handy that Thameslink, Gatwick Express and Southern have lined their trains up for inspection. To one side is a lovely travel centre with extensive bike racks. And the public piano reminds us that Brighton has a very lively gay community. And for the very first time today, my Southern DaySave ticket actually works in the automatic barriers. And I can head off towards my train, which is on platform 8. And we'll talk about the train in a minute, because the most interesting thing is underfoot, as we have to step onto wooden, yes, wooden platform. You know, walking along platform 8 is almost like walking along Brighton Pier. Right, back to the train, and it looks very red for a Southern train. But as Thameslink, Southern and Gatwick Express are all just brands of the Govia Thameslink franchise, it isn't really a big shock to see them using one of their Gatwick Express liveried 387s on this run. The 387s themselves are pretty new, as they started to enter service only as recently as 2016.
Welcome to beautiful Brighton Station, and I'm on a train that's marked as Gatwick Express, but I'm not going on the Gatwick Express. This train is going to be taking me from Brighton further on down the coast to Eastbourne. So yeah, on the earlier video we came in from Portsmouth to Brighton, so I thought let's keep going. But I've stopped for a cup of tea. Jeffrey, it's tea. We'll do this little hop from Brighton to Eastbourne and see how it goes.
We'll exit the station and immediately cross the London Road Viaduct, through London Road Station itself, and then on to Brighton University campus at Moulsecoomb. Next up is Falmer, where we'll probably get to see the new Brighton and Hove Albion Stadium. And after we leave Brighton's suburbs, it's on to the junction station at Lewes, before stopping at the country stations at Glynde and Berwick. Polegate marks the start of the Eastbourne conurbation, and then after a final pause at Hampden Park, no, not that Hampden Park, we'll run into the terminus station at Eastbourne. The distance will be around 38 kilometres or 24 miles, and the journey is scheduled to take 44 minutes. So, even though we're now on the East Coastway line, the average speeds, well, they're still pretty low, aren't they? Right, let's hop on board and see what delights are normally reserved for airline passengers. Oh, and it's just like a Great Western 387, we have the classic Fainsa ironing board seats. Loved by few, hated by many. Although I'm more worried that my tea is beginning to stew. Anyway, legroom is decent, and as you'd expect, there's luggage stacks to complement the overhead luggage racks, and there's also power supplies. I mean, the seats, well, they're okay. I'm only going to be here for 45 minutes, but I hate the bright red moquette. And I've already seen how awful this can become. Just check out the red on those old EMR trains. And straight out of the station we swing eastbound over the London Road Viaduct, which was completed in 1846. This brick-built viaduct is 370 metres long and has 27 arches, and it's worth noting that it was built over an empty valley, and that the city of Brighton has actually grown up around it. And as we travel up the valley, there's soon lots of university buildings alongside the line as we approach Moulscombe Station, which was opened in May 1980, no doubt to serve the ever-expanding campus here. And you know, I think it's got quite a nice rustic charm.
We are now approaching Falmer. Please mind the gap between the train and
just beyond the platform at Falmer, we can indeed glimpse the curves of Brighton and Hove Albion's Premier League stadium, which opened in 2011 with a capacity of over 31,000. Falmer also marks the end of what is effectively Brighton, and we can strike out now across the rolling chalk hills of the South Downs.
We are now approaching Lewes.
Lewes is a junction station where there are southbound trains to the coast at Newhaven and Seaford, and also northbound services that will eventually join the Brighton main line for London. And Lewes is also the county town of East Sussex, even though it is significantly smaller than a number of settlements within the county. Leaving the station, the train crosses the River Ouse, which drains into the sea at Newhaven. And there's the line for Newhaven peeling off to the right too, but we will stay north of those chalk hills for our easterly route. The town or village of Glynde isn't a well-known place, but opera lovers will have certainly heard of Glyndebourne, which is just up the road from here. This is certainly the nicest part of the journey as we roll through this Sussex countryside. With all these chalk downs, I'm rather thinking that we could get to see a white horse or something like that carved in the hillside. Berwick Station dates from when the line opened in 1846 and is a wonderful example of a 19th century wayside station. Beyond Berwick, my desire is fulfilled, and in the distance, I can just make out the Long Man of Wilmington on Wilmington Hill, although it is very indistinct on my GoPro in this poor light. At Polegate, our train returns us to South Coast suburbia. Although, like Moulscombe, this 1960s rebuild retains the spirit of the line with its simple design. Hampden Park is on the spur to Eastbourne, and therefore trains from Eastbourne that go both east and west will pass through the station. So, if you have a tight onward connection to Hastings, it could be advisable to change here rather than run all the way into the terminus. Just outside Eastbourne, we get to see the Grade 2 listed Bedford Well pumping station, which provided Eastbourne with its water towards the end of the 19th century. And we arrive past the carriage sidings into Eastbourne.
Remember to take all your belongings with you when you leave the train. Sorted.
And no, my DaySave ticket will not work at these barriers either.
Thank you. Why not scanning from the machine?
Eastbourne is a wonderful station, but I won't be dallying here today as I need to get back on the platform and return to London.
That was a nice little run from Brighton. Here we are at Eastbourne, and Eastbourne is a beautiful station. To my left, on your right, there is the Gatwick Express unit that actually ran the service from Brighton to Eastbourne, and it's about to do the working back. So we'll hang around here at the end of the platform and wave it goodbye, and then tucked in behind it is my train for London Victoria. I'm on my way back to London this evening, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little run from Brighton to Eastbourne, especially a good look at Brighton station, which is quite a doozy. At least once you're inside. I think maybe outside it probably needs a little lick of paint on that porte cochere, but a lovely station. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, then do give a like and subscribe. And yeah, I do stuff like this, as I'm sure you're well aware, so do come back, and I'll see you next time.